Alrighty. How's it going, guys? Angus here from Maker's Muse. Thank you so much for joining me for this live build of the Prusa MK3. Mic is working, check. Stream is working, I think. Chat's working. We're ready to roll. I've got my morning breakfast juice and I can hear myself talking on the stream, which means it's working. Excellent. So we got 3D Gusner in the chat, Patrick, Mickey Man Mike, Nathan C. Potts, Phil Evans, Nathan, 3D Printing Lab, Gregory, Torstein, Inkdroid, Taupe Designs, DVDL. Sorry if I missed anyone, South Tread. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, this is the matter of today. The new Prusa MK3. So if you saw my previous stream, we were testing the assembled MK3 against the Prusa MK2 original, not the Mark IIs, and the Wanhao i3. So this will actually be my first build of a Prusa machine. Normally they're assembled, but I've never really had time to put one together. And this manual is thick. Joseph did ask people if they wanted a bigger manual, and people said yes. So now we have A4 format. So I might not even need to use the website to reference it. There's been major changes in the MK3 assembly, which means it's easier to put together. There's no sort of threaded rod with nuts, and you tighten the nuts up and you've got to have a certain sequence. It's all aluminium extrusion, which makes it a lot easier. What time is it in Australia? It just hit 10 o'clock. So 10 a.m. is, yeah. That 3D print guy, channel reported for ripping off Maker's Muse. I am a clone. I am a clone Maker's Muse. Yeah, so Jackman's in the chat, welcome. Shivel Wolf, yeah, I got my machine with my order of gummy bears. Okay. Right, so behind me are all the pieces of the puzzle. I have already unboxed it. Power supply. I'll leave most of the things here till I need them and I'll move them across. And Joe did send this shirt as well, which I won't wear today, but I will wear it in the future. He is the only Prusa. He is the only printer. So that's going to go there. That's the best pronunciation of my name I've ever heard from an English-speaking person. You're welcome. You are welcome. Okay, so jumping right into it, it does come with tools. The Prusa MK3 comes with some tools, but I do have a lot of other tools on hand. So if you plan to put together a 3D printing kit, I can highly recommend these additional tools. Large pair of pliers, snips, longer, better Allen keys, or even better are these sort of things. These are Allen keys on the end of a screwdriver handle, so they're a lot easier to drive in. Careful of your wrist movement though, that if it's really hard to drive in, still use the Allen key for torque. You're going to be putting a lot of pressure on your joint there, but for most assembly it's perfect. And snips as well. And I do have in here somewhere, there you go, tweezers. Really good for the wiring when we get to that step. I'm not sure if we're going to get to the wiring today. Put this down there. I don't have the stamina that 3D Maker Noob does, so we'll see how we go. 3D Gusner is saying, use the online manual. There's a few things missing in the printed manual. I really didn't want to have to use online things while I was streaming, I'll be honest. All right, fine, I'll have to fire up the online manual then. But if you're going to put the effort into a printed manual, I don't know. Aaron's saying he prefers forceps over tweezers. True, forceps can give you a lot more force in terms of grabbing things. Okay, so I will fire up the online manual. Didn't want to. I'll get to that. But let me just start pulling the stuff out. Okay. Okay, so this box has, by the looks of it, all the printed parts. So if you don't know, if you're living under a rock, the Prusa machines have printed components. And it doesn't mean it's inferior in any way, actually. It's actually one of those things like, it's just a design choice. And looking at these parts, they have been printed quickly, no doubt about that, but they look decent quality actually. And they've got a nice matte surface on them because he's been using his new PEI surface. My mic seems a bit quieter today. Yeah, look, I'll be honest guys, the microphone on this is pretty terrible. Let me try to boost it a little bit for you. There is a tips link in the video description if you guys want to help out the stream. Everything goes towards better hardware. So in my other streams, I normally have a proper condenser mic. That's not portable, it's at my computer. This is a lav connected to a laptop, and a laptop has the worst preamp in the world. So let me see if I can, is it using the right microphone? Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Yeah, it seems to be the right one. Properties, levels. That might make it too loud. How's that? Is that better or too loud? Let me know. It only gives me discrete movements of just 10 decibels. I do try in these streams, but there's so many things to do. Sorry if I've just made everyone deaf. I'll wait for you to let me know. Yeah, guys, my Mark II was pre-assembled, as is the Mark III. So Joe sent 2 now. Little high getting an echo. Yeah, I can't do anything about it. I'm going to boost it back down, bring it back down. Okay. I'm just going to bring it down slightly for you now. Okay, let's try that. I can always adjust it, and then once I'm set, we can have it for the rest of the streams. Yeah. Yeah, getting more background. Oh well, it is what it is. I'm going to get through these things, and then we'll look at the mic again. So as I said, I am looking to improve these streams with a proper preamp microphone, which would be nice. I think people who are listening to it like on their phones are preferring it now. People who are listening to it on their headphones liked it before. Right. So we have everything really nicely labeled. Very well labeled, actually. Which shows every screw in every container. Which is really good. So I'm just going to put this stuff over there and get it all out of the box, and then we can start assembling. And I haven't assembled a Mark III before, so this could all go completely crazy. It could be a disaster. I got some filament which I'll put aside. 3D Gustner, can you show which part revision you got? I saw A9 and B5. Part revision. I'm not sure where you check to see what revision it is, to be honest. Yeah, A9. B3. A9, yeah. So some Bs and some As. I'm not sure if that actually means anything. That's a lot of Ziploc bags. There is indeed. There is a lot of Ziploc bags in here. Okay. So, thanks for subbing, Ryan. I appreciate it. So as far as I understand, the first step is the aluminium uprights and extrusions, which I believe, what is this? This is the Y plates. Yep, so the Y plates. So I'm going to move this stuff off, because this is next. Back in your box, back over there. is what we want. So this is going to contain our upright. Yeah, 3D Gusner. This is a very early one for sure. Okay. We have print surface. So that's the PEI tape on the spring steel, not the powder coated one. Put that over. Just chuck things around. Need a bigger desk. I need a bigger everything. I always run out of space. This is the amazing Mark 52 heated bed. And you can really see why no one else has this. It has milled slots for magnets which don't quite poke through the top. It's crazy. Shiv will say, I almost expect something to fly off the bench as it's knocked in the stream. Hopefully not the laptop. Yeah, hopefully not the laptop too. That would be really bad. But yeah, again, I'm always fighting space. That's why we keep moving. This is the new Bed Carriage Plate. Amazing quality. It's thick aluminium. It's been CNC'd. It's been cleaned up and like anodized or powder coated, I think. That's a work of art. It looks like a quadcopter frame, actually. That's really nice. As is this piece, which is the upright. So alas, no signature. I guess only Tom is cool enough for that. But there we go. There's your upright. So, just moved and already out of space. It's how it is. I need like a 5-car garage to fit, because you underestimate how much space filming takes. The camera's taking up like a huge amount of area just to have lights and camera. And then I can't use that space for anything else. Will the stream be uploaded later? I can't stay too long. Absolutely. Everything on Makers Muse Live will be archived back to the Makers Muse Live channel. Ed's Tool, thanks so much, man, to help out for a new microphone. Thank you so much. It will absolutely go to a new microphone. I really appreciate it. I have my eye on either a tabletop one, like a Snowball, or a proper wireless lavalier with a preamp. The wireless lavalier, like the Sennheiser ones, are pretty expensive, but I will get one soon. It's hard to get that sort of stuff in Australia, especially over the Christmas break. It was difficult. Okay. Uprights. Now we need our aluminium extrusions, which are somewhere. Where did I put them? Oh my, I left some stuff over in the pile. Okay, let's see how this goes. Let me just move my cable around and grab this pile over here without bumping or killing myself. There we go. Blah. No signed frame, how dare you, Joseph? All right, I didn't die. That's good. Let's get these unboxed. So these are our aluminium extrusions. If you guys have never seen how extrusions are made, it's such a really interesting process where they force sort of a malleable metal through a die. So in this case, the die would have that pattern in it, and they can actually do holes as well. And like that's really a mind blow how they can make holes like that, because it sort of goes around a thin slot and then like reforms. But they come out all wonky. They have to be straightened up afterwards, which is why poor quality extrusions can sometimes not be straight. And yeah, that's pretty important for a 3D printer. Yeah, we call it aluminium around these parts. And we've got the motors in here, which I will not unbox yet because I don't need them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking with the mics, the Sennheiser might be the way to go, honestly. And in here, we will have our linear rods, I assume. Are those holes pre-tapped? What holes? Oh, in the aluminium. Yes. Yes, they are. They're indeed. They've been tapped and then they've been anodized. So they haven't been tapped after the fact, which is nice. Okay, but rods, pop those babies over there. And that's it. Hope Lady Muse never sees this stream. She hasn't left yet. I've just been throwing things everywhere. All right. Yeah, you guys are right in terms of the Australian tax as well. Very expensive to buy anything decent in the audio market here. So the IED cable is useless to me. It's not an Australian one. So I'll put that over there. And this is the LCD. You don't need that yet. Right there. And we'll just crack this open, which is our front plates. So if you just joined me, guys, as the title says, we are assembling the Prusa MK3. And I don't know how far I'll get. I don't intend to be rushing through. I'm more interested in the quality of the parts and the assembly experience as a whole. So I'm not going to be rushing the build. It's more to have you guys ask questions. What do you think about this? Like, stop, can I see that part? That kind of thing, to help influence your decisions if you want to purchase one or to see what it's all about. And as always, I've mentioned like Maker's Muse Live is the new streaming side of Maker's Muse. So this is where all the live content will be from now on. And we've got Fun King 3D as I do another re-intro. Welcome very much, Fun King 3D. Okay, so we're gonna need some screws. So I've just placed everything on top of the manual because I'm clever like that. So we're gonna start with some screws. So we want the M5 by 16s. Rightio. Let's grab M4s, M5s. That's a spare. Where's the first one? I've already ruined the order. They probably come perfectly ordered. There we go. All right. Okay. We got tools out first. So Joe did include tools, as I mentioned. They're good enough. A little screwdriver, a little screwdriver, a little pair of pliers, decent, and some Allen keys. And as I mentioned before, these can really hurt your wrist over time if you're trying to get into tight places. So that's why I have stuff like this, which is an easier way to do it, but you can't get as much torque. Mickey Man Mike's beer's gone. You're not going to miss much, dude. I would go and grab a beer. Grab a beer, man. Okay. So in here, there is the screws and just on those feet, those not that great feet. So I'll put that here. Might grab a little container as well while I'm at it. Just to pop the screws in while I'm working. Righty. Whee. So first impressions on the instructions, very clear photos, which is awesome. And he's being very cautious to make sure the logo and hole orientation is correct when you assemble it. Because I guess that's the first thing. If you make that mistake and keep going, you're going to be running into trouble. So is this the right size? Nope, what's the right size for this? Not that one. Oh, I'm missing it. I guess I will have to use his Allen key for this part. Since moving, I've misplaced a lot of things, including apparently my most used Allen key. Right. 3D printing lab. Do people come here to see me assemble a machine or just to see me? Honestly, I'm pretty terrible at assembling things, so it's probably just to see me fail. I'll be completely honest. Okay. So we've got our upright. We want the logo to not be visible on my side, and we want to use the longer extrusions on that side. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, that looks fine. So the photos are clear enough that I can see exactly where the holes are, which is nice. So pop these in. And as I said before, this is going to be the hardest bit, just getting this first one started. Sorry, I just killed every headphone user. Just get in there. There we go. Come on. No. It's getting the first is going to always... There we go. There we go. I think I just killed everyone in the chat with that. I hugely apologize. It's always the first that's the hardest to get in. Quality entertainment. Yeah, you don't come here to watch a professional, you come here to watch an Angus. And I'm not exactly sure what I am. I enjoy doing it, that's for sure. But I guess that's just it though. Like, most of you guys getting this printer won't be professionals. You won't be, skilled in model making and assembling Meccano kits. Get Lady Muse to help now. She'll just laugh from the sidelines. Yeah. It's always like, yeah, getting the first one is the hardest, but then it all flows from there. Just in case you're wondering, guys, I wouldn't really recommend a power tool, like a cordless drill, to assemble this. A lot of the components are 3D printed. And even if they're not, the aluminium's very prone to being stripped, so we'll be careful. I'm also not tightening these up fully. So what you're going to want to do is get everything kind of in place, and then we're going to put it on the table to make sure it's level. Because even though this is pretty accurate, the holes are quite nice. Like there's still play. You still need clearance because of manufacturing tolerances. Hello. I don't want to wear my party hat.
You sure?
Yes.
But it's banging.
Bye.
Okay, I'm satisfied.
It was my birthday yesterday. And she insisted I wore this on the stream for a little bit, which I'm now going to take off. Right. Now, where were we? Oh, that's right, assembling a 3D printer. I have this idea for another sort of series, which would be like the 3D printing gauntlet, where I take all these like older machines and run them through a gauntlet of torture tests, and then like I'll just be wearing that hat the whole series to crown which printer is the king. I don't know. Don't know if anyone would watch that. Thank you for the birthday wishes. There we go. Okay, some people think that's a good idea, so maybe I will do that. Now, Joseph's instructions do say to tighten these up fully on a diagonal, but I'm not going to completely... I will do them once I get this last one on, I'll tighten them up. So I'm assuming these front plates will need to be perfectly level as well. You don't want a 3D printer that rocks. That's not going to be great. Lexio is saying I would watch that, it helped me know what to buy around $500 US. The problem is though, I would include printers you can't buy anymore. Like I would test the Pirate 3D Buccaneer and like the original Fabricator Mini and the M3D, like printers that are just outdated. As well as new ones, but the whole point would be to see like what can old machines do as well. Let's see if I've got this Allen key in the box down here, just to see if I can save some time. Nope. That in here. This is a really cool little set I got for my budget Makerspace series, which does have the right size, yes. And it's cool because it's got an extension, so that goes in there. You click it in place. So now I can easily access those without hitting the edge. Good, I'm glad I found that. Welcome to the chat, Cat. You should be partying instead of assembling a printer. I'll have a party on the weekend. That'll be fun. Okay, assemble this one. And also, I do apologize for the lack of alternate camera angles. Again, this is a work in progress, and I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying the stream and coming and tuning in. So the plan is to have, as I said before, a good mic, but also a stream deck kind of thing that I can change scenes, and an alternate camera frame probably over the top or something like that, so you can get a closer look when I need to. At the moment, I plugged a different camera into here and then nothing works. Windows 10 has decided that the drivers for the camera I was using before now cause everything to shut down. I don't know why. I just realized as well why the aluminium extrusion accuracy isn't so important, because it's slightly raised from the base. So it's going to be these parts that are really important. The more you know. If you were assembling a machine which used rollers along the aluminium extrusion, which is a route that Joseph could have gone down, he could have gone with rollers instead of going with rods still, they would absolutely need to be perfectly perpendicular and parallel to each other. Edzatul saying, does it appear that the Mark II printed frame can be upgraded to the aluminium extruded frame? No. No, they are very different machines. They're basically a full redesign. Visually, at a glance, they look similar, but they're actually very different, which is why Joseph had to do the I guess, 2.5 upgrade, which has the new heat bed, but that's about it. The frame is very, very different. Okay, that's good. Flip this around. Okay, that one's good. That one's good. That one's good. The instructions even go as far to say is you should tighten these in a diagonal pattern, which is very good actually. You should. So you tighten like that one, then that one, then that one, then that one. Don't go around in a circle. It looks like I just had a dropout, which is great. OBS said it disconnected. Let me know if it did. Okay, it's back. Good. God damn it. It's stressful, this streaming thing. It's, man. Everything goes wrong. Everything goes wrong. Okay, that's done. Step 5. Final check. Before we proceed further, it's very important that the extrusions... So a whole step is dedicated to making sure the extrusions are on the right side. Okay, so the long parts must be on the same side with the Prusa logo. They are. Good. Cool. Yeah, it's very specific instructions to make sure you don't miss anything. Okay, now we've got the axes plates. So these are attached with M5 by 16s, which is what I was already using, I believe. Yes. And they are going to attach so the small one here, obviously, and then the big one at the back. Yeah, I shouldn't stress. I've had far more disastrous streams than this. Let's be honest. I've done streams where the printer was actually damaged in shipping and like you were all expecting to see it working. And then in the end, it was just completely busted because the couriers dropped it. That was the, what was that? That was the Wanhao i3 Plus. I did a stream on that years ago. I can't get this out. I guess it's gonna stay there. And yeah, it was damaged in shipping, so it didn't work. It was busted. Shivel's saying that was a good stream. Oh, you've been here for the long haul, man. I appreciate it. They actually had to send another one. I'm like to the company, you got to send another one. So I ended up with 2 machines, and one of them was just a bit destroyed, and I just gave it to someone. I think he got it going eventually, but he had to physically bend the sheet metal back into place. It was that bad. Okay, and this is going to go here. D6. Yeah, that's right, the D6 was busted too. I've forgotten about that. The 10mm thick aluminium print bed was bent, like physically bent down. Man, I've had some good ones. I've had some good ones, I'll tell you that. Couriers are the enemy of 3D printers. That's why it's almost better buying a kit if you're in a country with really, really crap postal service, because it's hard to damage a kit, but it's bloody easy to damage an assembled printer. Oh, he's saying wait and eat the T-nuts. Thank you. That's the danger of talking and streaming. You just assemble it. You just assume that's where something's going to go. Right, where are the T-nuts then? Oop. Thank you for saving me, 3D Gusner. Okay, T-nuts go on the top. So it's very important. Incorrect placement of PSU holders will lead to issues later, all right? So that goes on the top. And that will go on the top too. All right, there's only 2 of them. I'm assembling printers according to the badass method of not looking and just hoping they work. All right, now I can put this in. Now we're good. Okay, we're back on track, guys. We're back on track. Nothing to see here. I am reading the instructions, although I did skip that, I will be honest. That's the issue. I'll be honest. I've assembled so many printers and so many things that I have this bias towards how they should go together in my head, but a newcomer will be meticulously reading the instructions like they're the Bible. So in that circumstance, there's some things that a newcomer will actually do better than what I'm going to do, because I just assume things because I've done so many other things. But like those T-nuts, they're unusual. I wouldn't have assumed that that would happen. So that's where I would stuff up, where a newcomer would actually probably not. It's interesting. Whereas, like, knowing to use this to assemble it is something that I've learned after years of putting machines together, whereas a newcomer will be using Allen key and struggling to put it together. Stuff like that. Hey Benjamin, welcome to the stream. 3D Nooblet, make the Haribos assembler. That was the best video. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a video of the Haribo gummy bears, or Haribo, whatever, assembling the printer with stop frame. Right. Yeah, Jean-Francois is saying he likes the simple aesthetics of the Mark III and the Prusas. I agree, like, it's very basic, but that's rigid. Like, that is, the T-slots are sliding around, but that is bloody rigid. And I haven't even finished tightening everything up. It's really quite well designed. That wasn't stop frame. Drinky drink. Oh dear. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a contrast to the JG Aurora A5 I just reviewed. Because that machine's gone all out on making it look aesthetically pleasing. And as a designer, I do appreciate it to a degree. But not, I'm practical as well, not when it starts getting in the way of functionality. And for example, if you guys have seen that review, it went up yesterday, of the Y-axis, the rods and everything are completely hidden away. And you need to be able to access those rods to oil the machine properly and keep them lubricated. So they've done that, and it's like, has anyone actually ever used a printer who designed this machine? Like, have you ever used a machine long enough to know how to maintain it? I don't know. It just comes across as design for design's sake, which does not sit very well with me. .3DP Iceland has recorded 60 gigabytes of video on the Mark III build I just finished tonight. Yeah, that's why I'm streaming it. I cannot be bothered editing that much footage. My computer can't even handle it. It takes half an hour to upload to encode a 10-minute video. Okay, geometry check. Okay, this table is as flat as I can get any surface in here, and it's not bad actually, moving it around. That's actually pretty good. The table does wobble, but the top's pretty flat. That's fine. So it's saying, try to wiggle whether any corners are lifting. Yep, okay. This looks fine to me. I'm going to tighten these up. Okay, there's the top two there. It's fine. Moving a little bit off. No, it's okay. It's fine. It sits on rubber feet. Ah! Now it's broken. No, it's good. Okay. Is that a bird or lady muse in the background? That's a bird. So here in Australia, we have very vocal wildlife, and some of the birds make very nice bird calls. Some of them make less than nice bird calls. You know, you might be familiar with the kookaburras, which make the sort of laughing, but you might not be familiar with sulphur-crested cockatoos that make like the screeching, or the rainbow lorikeets, which are gorgeous parrots. They have, you know, they're green with bits of yellow and blue, different colors. Gorgeous birds. They make a very like robotic, like noise. Very, very, very loud. Yeah, and then you've got crows and things. There's a park nearby, and just the birds are just nuts there. Should do a stream in there. I wonder if the Wi-Fi even reaches. I have like an extender into the park and just do a stream from the park. That would be the best. We don't get lyrebirds here. Like we get them in probably about half an hour away if you want to go on some trails. But we do get whipbirds, which like the noise, and then there'll be the female answering with like the I don't know. I'm not a bird call expert by any means. Right. As I said, this is mostly just me stuffing around and happening to be assembling a Prusa Mark III. Let's be honest. You don't come here for the best quality assembly instructions. Let's have a look. That's good, that's good, that's good. Geometry check, fine. We're already up to step 11, but it's a thick book. Right, mounting anti-vibration feet optional. Now, this is optional for now. We recommend mounting feet to protect the surface you're working on. Yeah, I'll be completely honest, guys. I do not like these feet in the slightest. I've taken them off the other machine. If you move the machine at all, they fall out. They're a bit of a hack. I think what the community will probably end up doing is printing something that goes into the T-slot with a rubberized foot. That would be perfect. It won't fall off. The rubber feet aren't great, but whatever. They're there. I'm not going to use them. Angus's ornithology hour. Yeah, I'm definitely not using step 11. Step 12, Y-axis front and back holder. So we're going to need some 3D printed parts. Excellent. So I'm just going to put this frame out of frame. See what I did there? And I'm going to grab that packet. Thanks for subbing, Alan. I appreciate it. Right. So we've got the Z-axis. We've got Y-axis here. Y-axis parts. All right. So for the Y-axis, we're going to need the Y holder. So these little things. Print quality again, decent. Printed fast, but still good. Remember, Joseph has one of the biggest print farms in the world now, if not the biggest, to produce all these parts. And we need some M3 by 10s. And some nuts. Y-axis, there we go. That's the one. Alan, don't worry too much. So far we've achieved this much, which is going to be the most visual progress. It all goes fiddly and downhill from here. Right, so now we're going to do the Y-axis front and back holder using these little square nuts, which are tiny, tiny, good quality, rounded corners. They look like they've been punched and then tapped. I have seen some pretty crap square nuts where like they're not even accurately square. These ones are good. All right, so to assemble it, we're gonna need, again, an Allen key, or in this case, I'm gonna use my driving screwdriver. Again, these are really handy to assemble things quickly. And we've got two different types of the blocks. We've got the ones with the little nubs in them and the ones that don't have the nubs at the back. So let's find out how it goes together. Okay, so just stick these nuts in, which is a much better solution than tapping into plastic. Remember I just reviewed the JG Aurora A5 and it had tapped A3, so M3 screws into 3D printed plastic. Like, who does that? Like, as if it's ever going to hold a thread. So Joseph clearly knows this, so he's got square nuts to give it more of a chance. I might put the hat on later. It is a pretty good hat. I'd have to go get it from the other room I threw it into. Okay, and I'm just using my tweezer to arrange these in the center. So again, very handy tool for assembling these machines. You can grab screws and put them into place, center them, tweezers. These are flat, like rounded nose, bull-nosed, whatever they're called. Just flat tip tweezers. They're not sharp. Don't want to get the sharp ones. They're hard to grab onto things. Okay. 3D Nooblets asking best oil to lube rods and lead screws. I don't know. I use a grease, to be honest. I use an automotive grease that I've had for a long time with PTFE in it. A lot of people use lithium grease, which is good too. Really, I mean, 3D printers don't move very fast for the hardware they're using, and they don't move nearly as much for nearly a long cycle time as a lot of the other machines that would use those components. So it's hard to say. Like, this one's a bit tight. Anything's better than nothing, I suppose. I used to just use sewing machine oil, and a lot of people do use just anything. But yeah, I like automotive PTFE. Why aren't you? Some of these holes are a bit tight. I shouldn't really be using an Allen key to force it in, but I am. There we go. Benjamin, what's my favorite printer for 2017? Ben, favorite printer for 2017? It's a good question. Oh, the instructions say to use alignment with a 2mm Allen key anyway, which is what I just did. So there you go. Okay, and these mount on the front and back of the frame. Favorite printer for 2017? Honestly, I'd probably say I really do like the Cedis Mark II, to be honest. That's one of my favorite printers under $500. But for going that, the Tronxy was the cheapest, and still is my recommendation for the cheapest kit. No, there wasn't really anything super, the Mark II was in 2016. There wasn't anything that really wowed me in 2017, to be honest. It was a bit of a dud year. That's why I called it Year of the Gearbest in my video, because it was just lots of the same, more of the same. I mean, it was the year of the CR10, wasn't it? Which was good, but there wasn't a huge amount of innovation. Yep. Good. All right, catching up on the stream. So these are going to go into place here. Just not sure exactly where the little strap goes for the rods. I think it's offset. Let me just check my other machine. Yep. So it's facing furthest away from this part. And we're going to use the M3s again. What size were they again? They were M3 by 10. M3 by 10. M3 by 10. M3 by 10. Sweet. So by using those nuts in the 3D printed part, you can actually tighten these up quite nicely, which is excellent. Am I missing something here? First take the wire holder front parts and place them on the longer extrusions. Openings for screws must be facing up. Yes. Secure each. Right. It should be working. Just seems to be the holes are a bit too close to the holes for the top bit are just a bit too close to the extrusion. They're like 1.5 millimeters down from where the hole should be, which means I might have to move these extrusions down, right? Or move this up. What the heck? Just a second. It just seems a bit odd. The holes are definitely too low. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to move these extrusions down. Anyone in the chat had that problem? 3D compare the parts. Compare the parts. Not the same. Just I'll grab the wrong axis. That's y-axis, front, y holder front, y holder back. It doesn't say what revision they are. I'll bring them around to front. So the issue I'm having is these are a little bit too low. They need to be, well, they're too high. Yeah, sorry, they're too high. They need to be a bit lower. So I'll see if I can just move, undo these screws and move it down. Yay, you haven't even gotten into it and then there's already problems. These are different to the one on that machine. There are two for the front, and once you see the for the back, I think. Okay. There for the back. Ah. That's why I keep you guys around. That's why it's got the slot in it. Okay, we're back in business. There you go. Oh, there is a slot there. So that's where the bigger images would have helped. Yep. Okay, we're back in business. Yeah, no, I did push the extrusions down before, but I was wondering if I didn't push them down enough. I did indeed have an O moment. Okay. See? I am clueless. I've never assembled this machine before. It's one of those things, you do it once, and then if I had to assemble another Mark III, it would take me like no time at all. All right, so I'll force these little bad boys in, and we're good to go. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. All right, now we're back in business. That is exactly what it should have been. Excellent. Matthew, it's 2 a.m. here. Why am I awake? You really don't have to stay awake for this, man. I'm just assembling. I mean, I'll be doing this anyway, so I just like, why don't I just stream it? That's kind of what I do now. Okay, and we've got the other one here. Yep, okay. So that's a lot simpler. All right, and last 2 screws. This is my first ever live build, actually. Like, I've unboxed machines live, but I've never actually built something live. It's always been too difficult because I've never had the space. So there you go. Now you know what I do in my spare time. Make lots of mistakes. Hopefully I don't have to tear it down and start from scratch. I don't think I will have to. All right, that's good. Front and back, and the other ones go on the front, obviously. Oh dear, okay. Oh, sorry, back. The other ones go on the back, because this is the back. I'm going to cheat and look at the other machine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So as I said at the start of the stream, the Mark III has the different aluminium extrusion design, but it's still using linear rods, which is interesting because a lot of machines in 2017, we saw they started using aluminium extrusions with rollers. So like the CR10, for example, uses rollers on aluminium, so you can actually get kind of like a get 2 for 1 deal. You have a frame that's sturdy and you have a surface that's accurate enough to use rollers for your linear movement. Joe didn't decide to do that on this machine. Mostly I think because this i3 gantry style is difficult to do it. But I reckon in future he might consider it because it's a really cheap and if you do it well, accurate way of getting linear motion. Whereas with rods, you have to have all the subframe design. Don't tighten them up, yeah. Yeah, I'm only sort of leaving them slightly loose. I'll leave this one a little bit loose. All right, that's good. Okay, so we're going to do the Y-belt idler now, which is A9 revision. Or just that's the part number. Again, part quality is good, but they've clearly had to pump these out. The bottom is a bit rough. So we've got the belt idler, and now we need M3 by 9, by 18. And Mateus Green, thanks for subbing. Appreciate it. By the way, guys, the new icons for that are well underway. So the icons for like the donations, which are very much appreciated, the subscribes, there's even like the Patreon plugin. So if you subscribe on Patreon, it has a little notification. They're going to have little custom icons. Yeah, 3D Printing Llama is saying I did a roller conversion on my i3 clone. It was the best thing I did to it. So there you go. That's not a bad idea at all. Right. Okay, so we've got some nylocks, which is a nice choice. nylocks are a really good way to stop things coming loose from vibrations. So they've got like a little nylon gland in them that tightens into the screw. So it's actually very nice of these to be included because they are never included in Chinese kits. Chinese kits always have the cheapest nuts they can find, which invariably vibrate loose over time. So usually you have to go and buy nylock nuts is the first thing you do. But this has some, which is awesome. So that's a nice choice. Just pressing them in with another piece just to be aligned. They'll tighten up when I start putting the thread into it. Hey Andy, thanks for subscribing. Okay, and then we've got the other nylock. The advantage of 3D printed parts is they can be easily revised. If Joseph had commissioned injection molds for these components, if something goes wrong and you need to revise them, then yeah, it's going to be a lot more expensive than simply changing the file and sending it out to community and being like, yeah guys, you can print it yourself, or it's going to be shipping with the new kits. Yeah. Okay, that looks good to me. And we've got the idler. This is a really nice looking idler, guys. Really well made. I've seen some really crap idlers, and it matters because your belts are pulling against them and you want some accuracy. You don't want any skewing forces or a shite bearing. You want a really good idler. So this is good quality. Arduino Makes, thanks for subscribing, man. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're gonna stick this in and put our screw through. Although I will say, using a screw as the axle for an idler is still going to give some play. It's not 100% as accurate as a proper round shaft. Doesn't matter, probably not. Probably no one cares. All right, seems good to me. And I'm going to tighten this up. So you don't tighten up too much, obviously, because, well, yeah, then it's going to break the aluminium. This isn't quite aligned. Let's align it a little bit better. There we go. It's a bit better. You guys are all talking about old computers. My dad actually used to run an IT company, and I was too young, to be honest, to actually really know what was going on, but I saw how quickly it changed. And the rate of progress was nuts. Like, we went from playing DOS games to getting like, what was it? PaintShop Pro 5 was my first experience with like an image editor. And then from there, it just, graphics cards were just every 5 seconds being outdated. I remember getting one for Battlefield that was like giving good water graphics, and it was like 128 meg or something. Oh dear, it really has changed. This is not working. Why aren't you lining up? Why won't you do the things that I want you to do? And it goes in the ground. It's the first screw drop of the stream. There'll be more. Okay, there. Stay aligned. Right, so you want to tighten it just enough so it spins freely. Done. Okay. Next, mounting the Y belt idler. So that is going to mount here, like that. Take the Y belt idler and place it on the front plate. Note there is this circle mark on the printed part facing up. Yes, there is. There is indeed a circle mark facing upwards. So do not tighten the screws fully. That's important. So when you tighten up your belts, you'll need to fully tighten them up. But in this case, they will not be fully tightened. Yeah, it's interesting actually. Just going back to the IT thing, like he had a company during the .com era, and refused to get involved in the buyouts and the floating a company and all that. So he survived it, and these companies were buying $1,000 office chairs and that without having any products, and then then it all just fell apart because everyone realized, oh well, pets.com probably isn't the best idea, buying pets online. That one's not quite far in enough. Come on. Just gotta push this one in a little bit more. Come on. Use the screw to tighten it in, then I'll put it back in. Sure, I think the odd got cut off by YouTube. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Why is this? Okay, well this is a print issue. The hole is just a little bit misaligned. So you guys joked about using the drill press. I may have to use the drill press. It's not a big deal, let's be honest, but you can see there that the first layer had a bit of gunk and it's filled the hole slightly. It's really not an issue, but that is something to consider. I have had to do this. And I'm putting the either in the wrong place. That's okay, never mind. All right, so try to clear this out. Let's put a screw through it. Continue talking about computers. Oh, that's really stuck. Okay, I will need. Where are my drill bits? Where are? We'll have to clear it somehow. See if I can just pop it out. Sorry guys, just improvising. That was my... Okay, that should clear it. Yeah, it's probably okay. Making sure you're paying attention. Yeah, I'm making all these mistakes on purpose. Let's go with that. Oh man, this is really too tight. I didn't really prepare for it. Where are my drill bits? No idea. I have not used them since I've moved. I was wondering if I can just force something through it. Ah, there we go. Force the screwdriver through it. Good, okay, we're good. I have not got a taper broach, guys. I rarely do this sort of thing. I did not expect to have to use any kind of drilling device. Probably should have been more prepared. Okay. All right, now let's put this back in. Yeah, I literally have no idea where most of my gear is after moving. It's just chaos. There's just stuff like here and then upstairs, and there's like another room, and it's just everywhere. And I have no idea where any of it is. It's just everywhere. All right, this is good. This is the right side. When will my final review be ready? I have no idea. I already have the assembled Mark III, so yes, Joe did send me an assembled and a kit, and I don't know, I got to print lots of things on it and then decide from there. But I'm not sure when it will be ready. isn't it reaching the hole? Come on, this is like the most frustrating piece and it's like the simplest. Just gotta get that munted hole working. Okay, there we go, it's good. It's good. Where's my needle file set? I have no idea. I don't know. I literally have no idea where anything is. There is a toolbox in another room, which again I can't reach because I'm tethered to the computer, but I doubt the needle files are in there. It might be in like my budget makerspace box. Okay, that's fine. This works. It's loose. Okay, let's move on with our lives. Oh man. Oh, I need some water and energy drink. Okay, and some energy drink. Calm. Is this going to be the regular time for the Wednesday stream? Tentatively, yes. My life is always chaos, but the plan is to do a long stream on Wednesday just to hang out and do what I normally would do anyway, just with you guys. Also planning to do like a talk show kind of stream as well on the weekend, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so we have our delicious motors. That's how you pack motors, China. If you're watching this and you send kits, that's how you pack them, not in the one bit of foam bunched up with each other. So, pull them out. And they've got different length wires, which is cool. So that clearly been different lengths or the same lengths, I'm not sure. No, definitely different lengths, cool. Okay, I'll leave the Z-axis ones in there for now. So we want the Wyatt motor holder, which is that one. And we want the motor. So how do we know which is which? It says on the back, of course. So this is one of the few cases where a laser really shines. So, for example, guys, if you haven't seen, these are laser marked. So that's been etched onto the anodizing and then X-axis and extruder. So you know which one's which. Without any guessing, no stickers to fall off, no anything. So I want the Y-axis. There you go. Well, but if you need any computer parts, feel free to give me a holler. Appreciate it, actually. I am teeing up a few things this year to upgrade everything. Yeah, this is the year that I'll actually get my shit together with that. I've been using the same computer that I had from 2013. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on, and it does have an orientation in the book. And you want some screws, M3x10. And so let's grab these, M3s by 10. Did I get a black or brown Noctua fan? I don't know yet, actually. I will let you know as soon as I come across it. Right, this is another case of one of the holes being a bit too tight, but that's okay. It still works. I need to put the nuts in first. That's all right. Put the nuts in first. Wait, where are the nuts? What? Oh, nuts are there. Okay, never mind. So it's got two nylocks that go into it. If I can get them in. There you go. Got one and the other. Again, nylocks are awesome for making sure things don't vibrate loose. Hey, Blowdorn, thanks so much for the $5. How well supported is the filament path? Will the Mark III be able to handle flexibles well? Good question. I have tested flexibles on the Mark II, and that worked really well. There's a video on it, actually. I did use Simplify 3D in that, but a lot of the options are applicable to different slices, except the crossing. I think when it rapids between points, Simplify 3D has an option to go within the model to avoid stringing, because the thing about flexibles is it makes a lot of stringing. So looking at the Mark III, it's very similar to the Mark II, and it actually has a much better constrained gap, as far as I understand, between the feeder gear and the extruder. So you have to run slower for sure, but you should be fine printing flexibles. Maybe not like stupidly flexible, but semi-flexes easily for sure. I will test it though, don't worry. I will definitely test it out. Probably for my review actually, because a lot of people are wanting to print flexibles now. No unlock nut there. Oh, god damn it. I guess you can tighten it up quite tight. So I'll just put the normal nuts in then. Peter, any 3D printed robot videos in the works? At some point, for sure. I'm not sure how soon, but definitely at some point. I do intend to get back to 3D printed robots. I talked about it in the last stream, but I really want to do like a 3D printed robot competition here in Australia. That would be a lot of fun. All right, we're back in business. Let's get this in place. That's why I put the nylocks in. This just fucking fell out everywhere. Oh dear. Well, there is a spares box. I have no idea where those went. I'm going to have to use some of the spares, I think. Right, let's try that again, shall we? This is extremely tedious without nylocks. Yeah, I've taken the nylocks out, and I've dropped the two of the nuts. It's gone. Yeah, the two normal nuts are gone. I have a whole thing of nuts over there. I'm not too worried, but yeah, they're gone. Okay. Flip the frame round. Oh, there's one of the nuts. And we've got the two M10s. So that is going to go like this. And they just fall out. Tedious, very tedious. I can't imagine trying to do this with an Allen key. I'd go absolutely spare. Definitely do yourself a favor and get yourself one of these. Should buy a magnetic screwdriver set. Yeah, I don't usually like the magnetic ones, to be honest, because then when you actually want them to release, they stick. But yeah, probably be handy for this. And of course, this is skewed, so it's not working. I'm making sure it's not skewed. Come on, go in the hole. Get in there. Get in there. Why are you going in? There you go. Okay. It should be the Watch Angus struggle for infinite hours stream. As I struggle at life putting things together. Okay, you're good. John Francois, big fan of you messing up pretty much the same way I would. Learn from my fails. I've always said that. Learn from my stuff ups. I'm not an expert when it comes to like magically knowing how things go together. Once I've done it, I know how to do it, but I can't just magically guess. All right, put these motors over here for now. Drop the book. I was on the laptop though. Oh, boo. All right. Next, Wyatt carriage. Okay, so we can take this off the table for now. All right. Cool, and guys, if you're just joining me, I am assembling the Prusa Mark III 3D printer very badly. The only way I know how, and I'm not sure how far we're going to get because I do only have so much stamina for streams. My voice starts dying and that sort of thing. But nonetheless, I will try my hardest and I'll try to keep up on the chat. So thank you so much for joining. Now we're going to assemble the Y-axis carriage, which if you didn't see before is one of the nicest bits of machining work I've ever seen. Very, very nice. Very nice. So we've got this thing here. And for the Y-axis Y carriage, we need the Y carriage, the Y belt holder, which is this piece here, the U-bolts, which are these little things. Thankfully, it no longer uses zip ties, but U-bolts is still a bit, I don't know, whatever. How's your father? Linear bearings, ×3, nylock nuts. So that's what we would have, that's what 3D Gustner was talking about. We need the nuts for, and M3 screws ×2. Only 2? I've only got 1 in there. Oh, there's the other one. Okay. So this is symmetrical in one direction. So the dot orientation for the bearing insertion doesn't matter, whatever that means. Okay. So these bearings are still with a little U-bolt, which is cute. Yeah, no, Jatman's like already way ahead. The Mark IIs only had one correct direction. This is symmetrical in both directions, apparently, which is fantastic. All right, so with the bearings, make sure they're oriented as shown in the picture. One of the tracks has to be in line with the cutout of the bearing. The what? Tracks, one of the actual bearing? Okay. So because the pressure is going to be on the bed, it wants to align one of the rollers with it. I guess that makes sense. And 3D Gustner is saying step 23 is correct bearing orientation, ball lines facing up, down, left, right. Yep, so it's in the handbook. Excellent. So this is indeed the updated handbook, which is great. Okay, it's good. That's good. And I will get these assembled. So I'll test them one by one. So this is using nylocks, which is going to be tedious because I'm going to want to tighten it up without having to use some janky method. So I'm going to try to find a proper tool for it here. Hopefully this fits. No, it doesn't fit. What about this one? Is that too big? Seriously? Or is it just... Okay, that should work. Let's hope so, anyway. How does this even... I'm such a spaz. Blue Dawn saying, what are the printed parts made out of on the Prusa? I know they used to be easy ABS, but now I think they're switching to PETG. I think they're PETG now. I think they swapped, but again, I'm not 100% sure. There we go. Go in there, and go in there. Perfect. Okay, that'll do it. Quintessential Angus, some janky method. That's me. So I guess I'll just rotate these bearings once the nylox are almost tightened. This is a great way to lose nylox, by the way, just hovering over thin air. And great way to lose your bearings too. Lose your bearings. So I'll just do them one at a time. So again, save your wrists, get a tool like this. Except this is technically not the right size. Great. Thanks, China. You make increments that don't actually fit anything. I do have another set down here, which might work. That's too big. No. Nope. So I've got two of them and they're both too big. Excellent. Right. Well, this one kind of worked. I just kind of have to hold it at an angle and I'll use, come on. Then I have to just hold it at an angle and then tighten it up finally by hand. Yeah, I wouldn't use needle nose pliers unless I have to though. You know what, I'm just gonna grab another toolbox. 1 second. Oh my God. If it's missing in this toolbox, I'm gonna be pretty furious. It's actually totally missing. It's totally not there. That sucks. All right, fine. Fine, I'll use the pliers like a pleb. Okay. Just gonna make sure they're aligned. See, you don't want to scratch it, that's the thing. I think once everything's completely moved in, I'm gonna have like a proper toolbox with everything updated and a throwaway. Because I've got like years of crappy tools that have come with printers. You know, most printers come with pretty poor quality tools. Like this one, these are okay, these are fine. But usually they're terrible. And I've just got boxes of them. Absolutely tons of them. So one of these days, I'll go through them and then just chuck all the crappy ones out or give them away. And then just have ones I know that work well for when I do these things. So I cannot look like a spaz for you guys when I'm like trying to find something that works. So Michael Goodfellow, the included tools weren't enough to build this. They are enough, but it's not strictly good practice to use needle nose pliers to tighten up nuts like this. You'll damage the threads over time. Damage the surface. And it's just really tedious, but it works. It's not something I want to do. I want to use the right tool for it. But alas, I have no idea where that right tool is because it's missing in both my toolboxes. Probably because I've used it in the printer assembly before and I've just thrown it somewhere and it's just evaporated into thin air. Patrick's saying it'd be nice for Joseph to print a small spanner tool. Sort of. A small spanner tool would probably, if it's printed, not be strong enough. To be honest. Can I even... This is so frustrating. Let's have a quick look in here for see if there's anything that's the right size. It's like, I know I had one. It's just gone though. Like you end up with this, if you've built kits before, you just end up with just a box of crap. It's just to the depths of just rubbish. No. Okay, sorry for stalling. I'll get back to it. Now I know for next time I assemble a Mark III, which will probably never happen again. Check my Makerspace stuff. No, I looked there this morning. It's in a box somewhere for sure. Or it just got lost in the move. It's hanging out with the missing socks on the dryer. Pretty much. It's pretty much gone at this point. All right. Okay, it's tightened. All right, one more tedious assembly. I know I'm whinging. I know. Ah, Argon just got the shipping notice for their Mark III. Congratulations. You'll enjoy that. I highly recommend getting a socket set with the right size tool. So you don't have to do what I was just doing. And oh, it rolled under. It rolled under the bench, like jumped. All right. Now we're improvising. Now let's go grab another M3. Give me that M3. Oh dear. Yeah, I'll just let everything go over here. I'll just vacuum it up with my shop vac and find it there. Find it there after the stream. It's just how it's going to have to be, I think. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm done. No more. No more. Okay, right. Thank you for bearing with me. I know that was extremely boring. As soon as you reach the surface, stop tightening. Probably should have read that bit. Just back them up a little bit. Only slightly underneath it. It's so tedious. I just missed a donation, sorry. Thanks so much, man, for the $5. If I ever need a specific tool and that has the ludicrous Aussie tax, let me know. I'll see what I can do. All good, I appreciate it. Okay. Okay, we're good to go. Okay. Okay, ensure adjust to the surface equally, check the bearings centered in both directions. See, it's saying to tighten it just to the surface, but then it's loose. This is very tedious instructions, I'll be honest. It's almost like I'd prefer the zip ties. And to be honest, if these bearings are damaged, I've got a whole box of them. So I don't really worry. But if you're a newcomer, I would pay special attention to this section. Okay, that's fine. Okay, wide belt holder. Very good thing Joseph isn't watching this stream. Yeah, no, that's rubbish. That's definitely needs improvement, that bit. Okay, wire belt holder. Got our little M10s. Teeth face the two bearings, yep. Just gonna double check to make sure my bearings actually still work. That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, fine. Not all the fuss is about. I guess you could really like super wrench on them and damage them, but you'd have to really try. Yeah, I probably intentionally did it on a time that you can't watch. Oh, these are tapped. That's nice. So these holes are tapped in the aluminium. Honestly, I think Joseph's had enough heart attacks for January. He gets very stressed when he watches these live builds. Things are meant to go wrong when live. That's why it's fun. Like, things aren't meant to go perfect. If you want a scripted perfect video, watch a scripted video. If you want off-the-cuff mistakes and things like that, then watch live. That's how it is. Okay, that's fine. Excellent. Okay, so we are good with our carriage. Jackman's saying if you over-tighten them even slightly, they eat the rods. Well, the rods should be hardened then, shouldn't they? I don't know, coming from a mechanical perspective, the rods really should be hardened steel. If they're not, then that's something I would actually pay more money for, because proper industry demands hardened steel rods. But whatever, I will see how they perform. Take all smooth rods and compare the lengths. For wide carriage, you need the mid-length rods, 330 millimeters. Okay, medium length ones would be these. Is that all of them? Yeah, that's all of them. Test the rods, seems there's a few bad. Ooh, okay. So, it's all right. Yeah, fine. They're good. All right. Okay, that's good. Nice. Okay. Good. All right, now we're going to mount it onto the carriage. Sweet. Okay, let me go back to this. Matthew, read what mic you're using. I'm using the wrong sort of mic. I'm using a lavalier mic called the Rode SmartLav Plus. It's meant to be used for a mobile phone, which I usually use for my normal videos, but using it through live isn't the best. That's why the quality of this audio isn't fantastic, which is why I have the donation link down the bottom, because everything will go into the improving this stream, starting with audio, and then we'll go to better camera gear, and then hopefully it'll become a big, fully fledged thing where I can hire people to be involved. I don't know, just joking. But yeah, it's a SmartLav Plus, which does the job, but it means I'm stuck here. It's attached directly to the laptop. Bash left, sorry, I can't say your name. Tom also got 3, guessing that's just reviewers though, which I think does send the wrong image to people. Companies should send stuff that we get as well. What are you referring to? Oh, the sheets. Yeah, so just a quick note about the printing sheets. That was a mistake. We were all meant to get one of each type, but the packing was done wrong. So Joel got like 3 of one type or something, and I've got one of each. But yeah, we were meant to get one of each, and it is indeed a little bit misleading, because you guys won't be getting the powder coated PEI because it does have issues. Right, so I'm just going to get these and make sure I put it the correct direction. So that is Not correct. Let's swap it around. That is correct. Oh, that's satisfying. Right, we're in business. Okay. Makey Man Mike on my i3 clone PLA PETG is wearing better. I assume you guys are talking about printed bearings, which is very difficult. And thank you, Skewed View 3D. I appreciate the kind words. It's usually pretty chaotic. Eddie Moser can't tip you. There's a link in the description if you really want to, which is the new way to do it. But if that's not working, I'm not sure what's going on. I can't enable Super Chat because YouTube's like, it's a new channel, so you don't have enough views on it. So that'll change. But yeah, there's a link, guys, in the description if you want to support the stream. I don't have a chat bot or anything mentioning it, but as I said, everything goes into supporting the getting better hardware for it. And yeah, thanks. Okay, and these are 8mm rods, not 10mm, just in case you're wondering. They are 8mm. Okay, now the zip ties come out, securing the Y carriage. So this is the traditional Prusa way of assembling a printer. And I'll grab those. Here we go. So we've got a bag of zip ties. GTU, thank you so much. Happy to support a worthwhile channel. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. It really, really does help. This is my full-time job. I love to share my experiences of 3D printing with you guys. And oh, chat man, thank you. Don't forget to eat the candy. But I'm on a diet. No, I'm not really. But where is the candy? I know there was gummy bears with the assembled one. I'm not sure where the candy is. I'm sure it came with it though. He wouldn't have sent printers without candy, right? Hey Joe, welcome to the stream. I've been meticulously following your manual. I've almost made some mistakes, but your very loyal printing enthusiasts have warned me off them. We're taking it slow and steady. We're up to my favorite bit with the zip ties. So, shove these through. Tighten that down. Still 9 steps before you're allowed by handbook to eat them. The handbook specifies when you can eat them. Yeah, definitely don't need to have a aneurysm today. Today you should be just chill. I'm trying to be like symmetrical with the zip ties. Yeah, the gummy bears could be a sacrifice. Okay, that's good. Flip them around. Hey, welcome Ron. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. I'm glad you've been looking forward to this. I hope I don't disappoint you. That works. These must have been pretty difficult to design, this gap to actually work without supports. It's pretty tight. Okay, that's good. Last zip tie, and then I can tighten these rods down, and we are good to go on to the next section. Okay, that's good. Again, grab some pliers, snip them off. Ron's saying you need to include a 5.5mm wrench in the kit. That would actually be my only criticism. The bearing assembly with the needle nose pliers is exceedingly tedious. And I've damaged the bed a little bit where I've scratched it. So like a little plier or even a printed one. I don't know if they used to come with one, but something like that might help. I think just a little metal plier, little metal wrench would help. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm going to make sure it's all tightened up. So I'm going to move the gantry, the bed to this side, tighten him up. And then move it to that side and tighten them up here as well. Seems good to me. This table makes everything sound louder. It's like, you know, amplifies it. Okay, assembling the Wyatt motor pulley. So we're going to grab the pulley. And again, I think I might even have the right size bit for this, so I don't have to use the Allen key. There we go. These are just a lot easier. Small torque wrench. Maybe a 3D printed wrench that gives away when it's reached the amount of torque necessary. Hey Eddie, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. And again, guys, those little icons are temporary. I've got some custom ones coming. Any questions, by all means, but feel free to ask, or we do have Joseph in the chat. If he's still around, you could ask him as well. I'm not an expert at all of assembling these printers. It's the first time I've ever put together a Mark III. I haven't done it before, so it is a learning experience for me. JT, thanks, man. This is for Mickey Man Mike. Oh, dude. You guys don't have to. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'll probably be able to buy a microphone at the end of the stream now, actually. Which is an awesome birthday present. I got some good shirts. You would have seen, if you guys saw my review of the JG Aurora A5, you would have already seen my amazing Stingray shirt, which was a gift for my birthday. Oh, come on. Just enough. To make this go on to the rod. Tighten it in place. There we go. No. Okay, I'm not going to fully tighten it because I'm not sure where the belt's going to be in terms of alignment. Saying, place a GT, got the pulley, one of the screws must be facing directly against the pad. Yep, that's fine. Don't press the pulley against the motor, leave a gap. Don't tighten it fully. Yep, that's fine. Not going to tighten it fully. People are talking about the Noctua fan Yeah, normal mode on the Mark III is already way quieter than any other printer I use. It's just nuts, so you don't even have to worry about that. I am a very good boy. All right, next. Assembling the belt. Oh, I hate these parts. I hate putting belts on. It's like, maybe wiring. Wiring's like the worst part of putting a kit together, but the belts is like pretty bad. This is definitely the Y-axis, yes. Bye-bye. That was just the feet, which I'm not going to use. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. Okay, turn the frame on its right side, as shown in the picture, and you need access to the belt holder. Okay, so let's turn this thing on the side. Uh, 8-bit J, got a Wanhao i3 looking to get a second printer, i3 Mega or CR10 Mini. I've never tested the, I'm assuming you're talking about any cubic, i3 Mega. This way. I've never tested it, but it looks pretty good. The CR10 Mini is awesome, but again, they're all very much the same, I'll be honest. They're not too different. I need something to stabilize that. What can I put under it to stabilize it? That. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to put the belt into the idler, and through the idler, and into the holder. So one end of the belt holder, sure, using the upper slot closest to the X carriage, close to the Y carriage. Okay. I like that the little teeth are printed, so it just can't pull out by itself. That's pretty neat. Pants are the enemy. What the heck? Belts are bad, pants are worse, yeah. You guys have no idea how many streams I've done and videos I've done with like the worst looking pants. Like you never know, but you don't see them. The joys of working for yourself. Okay, we're gonna run this all the way down through our little gap past motor and then back into it. So this is where you want to make sure your idler is really loose, so we can loosen this up. Up, not off, I said. Don't fall off. All right. I'm just going to tighten this up slightly. Getting back to the chat. Six steps to go before gummy bears. I'm not sure where they are. There's so much crap in here already. I'm just tightening this up so I can move the nylocks all the way down, so I can then untighten it so I can get some good clearance. So the thing about belts as well is they do stretch over time, so this is something you'll need to maintain on any printer. So it's something to keep in mind. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to pull this as tight as I can. Actually, I'm going to use my pliers to pull it. And then shove it in. Come on. There we go. There goes the manual again. Okay, so that's actually quite loose. I can go better than that. I can go one step tighter. Lady Muse did not steal the gummy bears. Or maybe she did. Come Just one more tooth. One more tooth. Come on. You know you want to. That's all right. Probably could go tighter. Let's just see how it goes. This is something you can always change in future, though. You can always tighten your belts up more. Oh, that's... Can you hear that? That's what you want. Sweet. So that's actually a very elegant belt solution. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's really easy to do. There's no like awkward screw mounting. It's really well done. So with the pulley, I usually just move the belt around a little bit to make sure it's centered. You don't want it really rubbing on anything. And then tighten up those screws. Hey, thanks for the donation, Argon. No idea how much coffee costs in your native script, but hopefully this covers it. Not a huge coffee drinker, but it'll definitely support an energy drink. Thank you very much. All right, that's good. We're good. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, Tom doesn't like the manual because he just keeps dropping it. And I didn't throw it on the floor, it fell on the floor. Let's get things specific here. Let's not start a rumor. You know, let's not do that. Okay. Wyatt is assembling the belt. Yep, that's fine. Lining the belt. Okay, I just did that anyway. So again, that was me knowing how to do a belt and just, I guess, the next like 3 steps. Yeah. And then tensioning the belt. Yeah. Okay, so there's a testing method. Test if the belt is properly stretched. Use a technique used below. Use pliers, hold the Y-axis motor shaft. Move the Y-axis towards the Y-axis motor. Need to use excessive force. Oh, thanks so much, man. WF Pelletier. Where did it go? I will find it again. Thank you for all your wonderful YouTube videos and reviews. Hope this build goes better than the flying bear. The flying bear was a disaster, and it wasn't my fault in the slightest. Okay, we can see if this is too loose by just holding the pulley and moving it forwards. I will try that. Okay, let's give it a shot. No, that's perfect. That's not moving. Okay, Y-axis is finished. Y-axis is done. Great job. Open up the bag with Haribo gummy bears and treat yourself to a few. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm not sure where they are. They're in this pile somewhere. That's the LCD. Maybe they're in the box still. I actually might give them a miss, I'm sorry. I don't know where they are. Let me have a look. Hold on. You can't see me because I'm tethered. Nope. Yeah, I'm not sure where I put them. They're somewhere. I know it's a travesty. I know, I'm sorry. No, they're gone. No, oh no, I know it. Okay, they're over here. Don't skip the important step. All right, I'll have some Haribos. 4 will do. Nom. Crisis averted. Accidentally described marriage. No. This is what I'm very appreciative of the tips. To get a wireless lav system so I can walk around without being like a spelunking scuba diver with a wire to lead me home. All right. It's so sweet. I need more water, actually. Minion. Hello. I don't know where she is. I might be able to reach the tap. This is just going to be like Angus dies of dehydration during a stream and she comes back. All right, we're good. Thank you for bearing with me. We're now going to move on to the X-axis assembly. This is a very thick book. I don't know how far we're going to get. So, tools necessary for this chapter, same as before. And we need to grab our X-end idler and motor holder. Okay. Z-axis, X-axis. There we go. So this is going to include that piece, whatever that does, which is 3D printed, and the X-axis motor holder and idler. Someone subscribed. Nelson, thank you so much for subscribing. Okay, so this is very traditional Prusa i3. Judging from it, without even looking at the instructions, the rod's shove into the ends, the motor mounts to here, and then the belts just run through, and the linear bearings go into those holes, and that's going to sit here for our gantry. So we've got that. Now we're going to have to find where the linear bearings are, which are here, because everything's beautifully labeled, which helps a lot. Some kits just have stuff just shoved in random bags, and it's just like finding things is a disaster. So this is very, very much appreciated. Although it does end up with lots of bags, which unfortunately I'm going to chuck because I don't need any more bags. Hey, Podline Production, thanks so much for subscribing. Chris, is the lav hooked up to my phone? No, it's hooked up to the laptop directly. So the stream is happening through the laptop, and normally this lav's hooked up to a phone in my pocket, so it's like a poor man's way of recording close-up audio, because normally you'd have a wireless lav system hooked up to a camera. But what I do is I have it hooked up to my phone, and I get the audio, and I sync it up in Premiere Pro. So I get the camera audio, which is terrible, and I sync up my lavalier audio, which is better, and then that's what I use for my videos. So this is just reused from my normal videos, but I will slowly build up my streaming hardware, because streaming needs a different set of rules, different set of hardware to actually recording. It's very different, actually. 3D Iceland, rotate the bearings 45 degrees to each other. That's a good tip. So what he's talking about is the linear races inside, to alternate them round 45 degrees, so there's a lot of contact on the rods. Oh, come on. Open it up. No! Is it okay? Yeah, it's fine. Hey, Michael, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining me, guys. I don't know, like, streams for me are always a bit chaotic, especially when it comes to doing things like this. But I really appreciate you joining. Any questions, by all means, just fire them away in the chat. I'll try to get to them. So we've got everything we need for our X-axis assembly. And it's got a nice picture of how it's going to look, which is good. So in the end, we're going to end up with that. Andre's saying AMD Ryzen and streaming is perfect. Yeah, I would love to get a little streaming box. Just a little AMD Ryzen processor, graphics card, a capture card to capture HDMI inputs from a camera, and then 2 monitors so I can monitor the chat and the OBS, which is what I'm using for streaming. That is the dream. Okay, so we've got all our parts here ready to go. Okay. So, first step, linear bearings. So these are the linear bearings, and as someone stated, I'm going to insert them 45 degrees to each other. So I'm going to insert one being parallel and perpendicular. I'll go down from the top actually. So just down like that. Come on. Actually, the manual even says to do it 45 degrees. There you go, this is the latest manual. Very updated. Can I get it through? Okay, there we go. Yes. Hey Stephen, thanks for subscribing. Okay, I'm gonna make this one lined up. Shove it in. And then next one. This one's gonna be 45 degrees. Then shove it in. One. Next. So that's quite easy to do. The plastic just, parts a little bit and allows it to go through. Tolerances for this must have been a lot of fun to get right, I'll say that much. Okay, that's good. And then this one, 45. Cool. So that's going to give us ample contact area on our rods. Marvin's saying for a total newbie getting their first 3D printer, a Mark III, what should I print first? Print the demo files that it comes with. Definitely print that starting with. And then everyone loves a Benchy. Benchy's a good start print. And then find something cool on, I'd say, My Mini Factory and chuck it into Prusa Control if you're just starting with 3D printing. It's easy to use. And just play with it. But start with the demo files it comes with. Mini Man Mike, I do love a nice live stream. Gives me an excuse to drain that mini keg of suspect IPA. I do like a good IPA, actually. Okay, now we're going to chuck our X and idler bearing in. So again, going back to this design, it's been cloned by so many Chinese printers. This style of having an X-axis. So this does have a strange arrangement of a bigger bearing and oh, it's just one bearing. Okay, so it is still symmetrical. Good. So chuck it in there. And we've got the M3 nylock, which I dropped earlier. So I'm just going to use a normal nut for now. I will replace it with a nylock later if I need to. Because that nylock is gone. It jumped under the desk, and I don't think a nylock's necessary for this, to be honest. And we've got our M3 by 18. Everyone has a Benchy. Okay, that's good. Tighten it up. So the reason for the nylock, so you don't tighten up the bearing path too much, but I'm okay with that. That's fine. I will replace it with a nylock, as I said. Should use a nylock. Spare bag has extra nylocks. Oh, okay, I'll go to the spares. fine. I'll do it properly. This is like an IKEA bit of furniture. There's everything in here. Holy balls. All right. Let's grab a nylock. Good call, my people. Okay. There we go. I guess you should do it properly. Excellent. Randy is asking, have I ever looked at 3D Builder on Windows much? It was a step up from SketchUp and Basic, but I found it to be quite capable. No, I haven't actually. It's changed a lot, and I probably should look into it at some point, but no. I hate Windows 10, and I actually avoided it for a very long time. I'll try these back in here. So no, I haven't actually looked into it too much. Marvin's asking, would I upgrade the nozzle on the Mark III to a Ruby Olsen Ruby? Maybe, if you're looking to do abrasive materials, but keep in mind it will start to damage the PTFE, and eventually the feeder gear as well will get damaged. So you really want to do abrasive stuff to justify the cost. Okay, I think that's it. I don't think I've missed anything else. Okay, X-axis smooth rods pre-assembly. Got it. Okay. Rods. Where's the rods? Okay. Something happened outside. So you want the longest ones. And we are going to grab 2 of these. That's tight. That's okay. That's fine. And the last one on the bottom one. Prusa printers at IKEA. The aesthetic's similar, I'll be honest. Yeah, IKEA has a very functional aesthetic for a lot of their products. So it might work. I mean, we had printers at Aldi. Okay, so make sure I get this correct. We want this one in the top hole. Oh, that's satisfying. Those tolerances, I got it. That is very satisfying to get that accurate. And then that's there. And then okay. Oh. Okay. Almost. Hey. How's that? Asking if the Mark III is an all-metal hot end. I'm not too sure, actually. I doubt it. All metal's not really good for printing PLA and those sort of materials. It's only really good for high temp and abrasive, but I don't know. Okay. Ensure the correct orientation of the parts and rods. There's a special opening in both of the X ends. Check if you press the smooth rods all the way in. Special opening. Special opening? I don't see. Oh, there we go. No, I haven't pressed them all the way in. They're going to go further. There we go. That's never coming apart again. That's clever. Again, these small things can only happen after various iterations, so I'm very impressed. Okay, so M3 Mark III is all metal. Okay. Yeah, got it. So it does have PTFE, but it's not anywhere near the melt zone. Thank you for clarifying, guys. Rightio. Assembling the X. We're actually making good progress. The wiring is going to take forever, though. This is an illusion. It's going to be almost ready, and the wiring will take ages. So when we get to that point, I might finish, and we'll do a part 2. Because I'm not a super human like Tom and 3D Maker noob. X motor. Where was that motor? That is the extruder. There's the X motor. Okay. Shouldn't really pick them up by the wires, by the way. That's bad. Don't do what I do. Okay. So we've got our motor and we have our pulley, which goes on the opposite way of the other one, which is fine. And we'll just tighten that up, just enough to hold it in place. Fine. So yeah, it's even saying ensure using the correct motor. Like you'd have to really try to stuff this up, which I have tried very hard. Okay, do not press the pulley against the face of the motor, leave a gap, and don't tighten it fully. Got it. Got it. Okay, that's that. So there's 2 whole pages in just doing that. Like that's how in-depth it is. Joe, how's it going? It's going good. I'm going to stop when I get to the wiring stage. I haven't really made any mistakes. I mean, you've got pretty much everything covered, so don't worry, go to bed. I'm not going to set it on fire. It's all good. So we need 3 M3x18s. And we need to insert and tighten them. Easy. Yeah, but thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Okay. So we'll just bring this in like that and assemble it. It's 2:20 a.m. for Joseph. I think it's 12:30 now, 12:20 for me now. So that's why I am definitely waning a bit. Paul Arden, A4 instructions. Yes, this is the latest instruction manual, as far as I understand, but it's the updated A4 version. So Joseph did ask if he wanted a big manual, and people said yes. So here it is. And it is actually really nice. You know, it's thick, full color. Really quite nice. It's almost like a keepsake, actually. You'd keep it after you assemble the printer. Yeah, guys, if it's late for you, by all means, head to bed. I really appreciate you stopping by. This will be archived onto Makers Muse Live. And Wednesday is probably going to be the time when this sort of thing happens, like long assembly projects, that sort of thing. And look out for weekends when there'll be like a news sort of style stream. Which may or may not have Lady Muse on it. We haven't decided yet. That's going to be like a weekend thing. This sort of stuff will happen on Wednesday. Well, my Thursday, your Wednesday. Okay, happy with that. Two steps to go. So we've got the X carriage pre-assembly here, which we're going to put into place, and it needs zip ties and square nuts. Okay, fine. Okay, we've got 2 zip ties and like 10 on the floor now. 2 zip ties, and we're going to put this here. So the bearings snap in, well, don't snap in, but are guided in very easily, like that. Okay, I've got to make sure I'm putting it the right way. So the motor, no, I'm not putting it the right way. So the motor is there, and this is here. Hey, Joel DeGraff, thank you so much for subscribing. There we go. Right, so we're going to get our... Yep, that is correct. That is fine. There's little arrows everywhere to tell you where to put it. It's actually quite funny. And it's so cool that that's guided through. Like, that's really well done. Okay. The cool thing about zip ties is if you make a mistake, it's just a zip tie. Just cut it and put it back, put a new one on. Okay. Waiting for fire. There's not going to be any fire. There might be next time when I do the electronics, but not this time. Okay, that's good. As is that. That's tight, it's tight. Now I'll cut them off. These are the cheap GearBest pliers, by the way, that I had in my budget makerspace tools video. They're really good, like really happy with them. Oh man. Yeah, time zones are tricky though, guys. Like getting ones that work for the guys in America, me in Australia, people in Europe. It's a big planet. It's hard. It's really difficult. There will always be someone who misses out. So for me, it's about me doing it when I can do it. Because I don't want to be streaming at like 2 a.m. because it doesn't make sense for me. I can't be engaging. Is that it? How do you secure the bottom one? Or has that not happened yet? I guess that's it for that. Okay. Time for another gummy bear. Well, who am I to not oblige? Give me a gummy bear. Let's have a look at the chat. Oh, 3D Gusner says that was a fast one. Out of all the mistakes I made, that's good then. So I'll do the Z-axis and then I'll be done. And I'll come back probably next week to do the wiring. So I do apologize if you're expecting it all done in one stream. I'm not a super god. But we are going to do the Z-axis because I can't leave it not looking completed in terms of the frame before I'd finish. Alrighty, Z-axis. Got our mounts, which are a little bit fluffy actually. Good quality, a little bit fluffy. Definitely, I think, PETG. And we've got these little weird things, which I'm not sure they are. We'll find out. Yeah, Paul Arden's saying, nice to have streams for us in Australia to watch though. That's true. A lot of my favorite streamers in the States stream very late. I like how the WAN shows like Saturday morning for us. That works well for me. So I like catching that. But yeah, otherwise I often don't catch them, unfortunately. So we're going to need the screws for the Z-axis too, which that's spare power supply. There we go, Z-axis. Why does the Z-axis have a belt? That's for that would be for the X-axis, I suppose. Let's put that there. Cool. Go to bed, Joseph. I promise I'm following the manual. I'm even eating the gummy bears when it tells me to. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for now, so we don't need this axis quite yet. But we do need to start putting the Z-axis in place. Night, man. Thanks so much for jumping in. Do appreciate it, really do. Okay. So we've got these two parts, B1, B1. They look mirrored to each other. So it's about getting the right orientation of the hole for these Z-axis rods. So to follow these steps, please prepare Z-axis bottom left, Z-axis bottom right, M3 times 10. Place the printed parts next to the frame and see the picture for correct orientation. Yep. So we've got one there, got one there. Generally in these designs, the linear rods face on the outside for better stability. Wouldn't make any sense to have them on the inside. And we're going to tighten each part to the frame with M3 times 10, which is these. And again, I'm going to use this handy dandy screwdriver to do it. So the frame is tapped, actually. Those holes are all tapped. Very impressive. Very impressive. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to let Joseph know if I royally stuff up. Okay, that one's here. There we go. That's going in nicely. Sorry if you guys can't really see that. It's again, I need a second camera for a better angle. Rover, do I have any mods that I'll print for this printer in mind? Not yet. I mean, got to give it time to see what its quirks and features are. Been watching way too much Doug DeMero. Got to see what it's good at and what could be improved. I'm not too worried that it's going to need anything major, but we'll see. I'm sure the community will come up with some cool stuff. Just gonna leave those a little bit loose for now. Just for a moment. I do not want to knock that off the table. There we go. I mean, you might want to sort of upgrade change the extruder to be like a larger diameter nozzle, in which case you'd probably need a bigger heater, a different extruder design. I mean, that's an option if you wanted to print really big things quickly. But yeah, it's designed to print well out of the box. I mean, this is really probably one of the easiest kits you can assemble, and I've assembled quite a few kits. This is definitely going together like a pleasure, actually. And it's interesting, because a lot of people who love to hate on the channel will be like, oh, Angus has never assembled a kit before. He has no idea what he's doing. When actually, the first printer I ever owned was one I made. It was a cake icing CNC machine. But aside from that, the fact is I don't enjoy assembling machines that don't work. I didn't enjoy assembling the tornado, the flying bed tornado, because had broken parts and it just didn't work. Whereas this is a joy because I know it's going to work. And there's a difference between upgrading something and then having to like fix it as you're going along. That's just how I am. I prefer to use printers as a tool, not a hobby. I get very frustrated when I put something together as is expected and as it's designed and it doesn't work. And then you will know about it because I will rip it apart in a video. And that's just how I am. And if people don't like it, they can deal with it. Mickey Man Mike. You guys are talking about ESP Wi-Fi modules. Hi, Angus is in the chat. Hi, Angus. How you going? All right. It just noted in the manual as well that during the tightening of these screws, you shouldn't use excessive strength. I assume that's because it's being powder coated after they've been tapped, in which case there might be some residue coating in there, so it might be difficult to get them in. Do not force screws into aluminium. Aluminium will strip, and if you cross-thread the screws in, you'll damage it. So yeah, I would actually even recommend, if you have an M3 tap and you're having a problem with these holes, run an M3 tap through to clear any debris. I've done that before on other printers. This is no issue here so far, but that's a good tip if you run into that issue with holes that don't accept the screws. Okay, next step. Oh, that's what these are. These are Z screw covers. I've never heard of that before. All right, we've got our Z screws. So these have to be perfectly straight, which is why they're so well packaged. You know, you do not want to drop these or damage them in any way. So I'm going to undo this nut. Can't easily get it off. Some printers you can unplug the motors and then just spin the motors to get these off, but in this case I have to do it myself. And drop it. Maker's Muse drop tips. Alrighty. Hey TJF, thanks for the subscription. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so we've got these little like cover things, and they go down onto the screws, I suppose, if I can get them on. Each Z-axis motor has a different cable length. Screw the Z screw covers onto the screws. Okay, well, I'm trying to. They are not wanting to go. Oh, that's so tedious. Ah. The only issue with doing this sort of thing is I'm touching the rods with my fingers, and I've got corrosive oils. So you have corrosive oils in your fingers, and you know it's just how it is in your hands. So touching metal will cause corrosion. So if you're assembling a machine like this, I try not to touch the rods, but there's no option here. You're going to definitely want to put grease on them to stop them corroding. I'm not sure if this is actually stainless steel. Usually these rods are steel, not stainless. I might be wrong, but you almost always want to make sure you put grease on immediately afterwards to stop any corrosion, because that will damage the path that the lead screw takes. There we go. That looks good to me. There's one. Carl Beck, I put together an Mark II. Is this one easier? Yeah, I'd say it's easier. I haven't done the Mark II, but I've done similar machines. And those ones where you have the linear rods and you've got to like put different nuts in like a special sequence, which is really like, it seems random at the time. You don't have to do any of that with this. It's all aluminium extrusions, which are tapped in the end. And the holes are tapped, and then the whole machine's anodized, so it's quite good quality. I would say this is the easiest Prusa that's ever been made so far. Definitely, unless you're buying like one of the pre-made i3s, where like it's just a gantry, this is definitely one of the easier ones. The i3 maker came with gloves to protect your hands. That's genius. Mickey Man Mike, is the nut brass, and does brass steel suffer from galvanic corrosion? I don't know. The nuts don't look like brass to me. They look like... These are Delrin. These are plastic. These are plastic nuts. So there will be no corrosion from that. But I am touching them, so I will definitely want some grease. That's important though. If it's plastic, you've got to be careful what grease you use. You're not going to want use anything that will eat into the plastic. So Delrin has a specific range of probably lithium would probably be best for these, to be honest. I've just tangled myself up with... Oh my God. So what does a 3D printing expert get as birthday presents? I got t-shirts and a little bit of money towards the washing machine that we had to buy. Exciting. I really don't consider birthdays as a big deal. Never have. It's too close to Christmas. It's too bloody early. Like, I envy the people who have birthdays halfway through the year because at least there's something like to look forward to halfway through. For me, it's like bam, bam, and then just nothing. So I really don't consider, like if I want to buy someone a gift, I usually buy it for them like when they need it, if you know what I mean. Okay, this is Z-axis motor left. And this is the front of the machine. So I'm not sure if it's talking about the front, if you look at the front left, or which is which. Which is the longest? I'm going to cheat. Okay, this has to be the Okay, this is the shortest one on this side. That's where the power, that's where the control box goes. Checking, we got the hot tip channel in the chat. Welcome. I'm afraid there's no affiliate links for this. Actually, wait, there is. Joe does have an affiliate program for the Prusa printers. You should use this link to buy this machine. All right, I got to lift it up and put it into place. So let's do this. So carefully put it down. I'm sure there's a way better way to do this, but this is how I'm doing it. So deal with it. All right. Okay. And we're going to want to put in M3 times 10 by 10. That 3D print guide, not sure if you've answered this before, but have you sampled 3D printed noises and turned them into one of my sick tracks? I've thought about it actually. I really have. I'm not very good at digital manipulation of sounds. I'm good at making like melodies, but not so much doing the full manipulation of audio wavelengths. So I would like to. I think it'd be pretty cool. You could do some really cool dubstep with it, actually. You'd be like, someone has to do that. I'm sure. I think Flight Test is a really big remote control aeroplane channel, and their intro has a lot of sounds from the brushless motors they use. Same idea. Same idea. Okay, I'm going to leave these a little bit loose because this will have to self-align. Yeah, Lolsbot did a Jingle Bells video with their printers playing the song. That was pretty funny, actually. All right, this is going in. This is really coming together. I mean, there's not too many parts. It's really been, everything possible has been simplified to make it easier to assemble. Sometimes that can make things harder to maintain, but yeah, we get to see that. We'll see how it goes. That's pretty good. That's good. All right, next one. Lightspeed, have I seen the Formbot T-Rex 2 Plus? Yes, I have. I have no comment on it because I haven't used it before. I believe Joel Telling 3D Printing Nerd's got a form bot. It's kind of like a G-Max, so it's a different machine. It's a lot larger than any of these, and whether if that's what you want, you know, it will probably have benefits through the size and maybe, you know, rigidity concerns or just pure size constraints. I don't know. Go check out his videos when I think he hasn't reviewed it yet. People are referencing the floppy disk drive Star Wars Death March from years ago. That was the funniest thing. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm not going to do the extruder axis today. Sorry, the extruder itself. Like, I'm just going to do... let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm going to stop at when I get to the end of assembling the full gantry. Then we'll get to the extruder next time, for sure. Because our neighbours just started mowing the lawn, so why not? You know, it's not like the lawn's already been mowed. It needs to be a few millimeters shorter than it currently is. All right, X-axis trapezoid motor nuts. We want the trapezoidal nuts, M3x10, M3 nuts. All right, grab our axis again. Did the JG Aurora explode on plug-in like mine, or we have to check the power supply switch? It didn't explode, but I do need to do a video talking about it because I know you're just taking a piss. But it does have ground leakage. It is putting voltage to ground. And I do need to do a video about how I kind of touched it. Yeah, I shocked myself. It was only small amounts, like a tingling, but something's going on with the A5. It wasn't enough to be an issue because ground is obviously ground. That's what it's there for. But it's not exactly the best thing. So I'm going to attach these to here and to here. And then I'm going to get me some M3x10s. Oh, go away. I don't know if you can hear the lawn mowing. Oh, God. The joy of living in the suburbs. Although if it was a city, there'd just be cars, like, pumping at each other. Did I touch it gently to get the tingling? Yeah, it was just a small amount. But more on that later. Anyway, I'm going to assemble this to get it into place. And yeah, people are talking about Sexy Cyborg, Naomi's video on the A7. That was pretty funny. Like, I don't know if you've seen the video that they've made for the A7. It's just really, really weird. But she actually tested it, and it's like, it says it has Wi-Fi in the description of the machine, but it doesn't actually have Wi-Fi. It's just really weird stuff like that. That's weird. There's a tiny slot for the nut for this axis, for the trapezoidal screw. It's a little bit tedious. I'm going to need my pliers for that. Sorry, my tweezers. Who the hell mows lawn this late? Well, it's only midday. Okay, just gonna put this in here. So that's a little bit tedious. Oh, is that meant to be a square one? That's a square nut, okay. So there's a nut that goes just inside the x-axis and that needs to slide in. And that is is it a square nut? I think it is. The other one didn't quite fit. No. No, it's not a square nut. Weird. That's a little bit janky. Yeah, it kind of works. It could be better. Tell my neighbor to cut my property too, because I'm busy streaming. I think he does. Like, there's a shared lawn, so he does actually do our side too, which is nice. He's a nice guy. He doesn't realize, like, none of my landlords have ever realized what I do. They've never really cared, and they've never cared to look into it. But, like, they'd come for an inspection, and they'd be like, what is all this? Occasionally. And I'd be like, oh, it's 3D printer. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm totally not using your house for a workshop. But we've been really good tenants. Like, we've never missed rent. We've always paid on time and all that. And never made a fuss, never had wild parties. Still, wouldn't mind my own place. All right, hot tips off. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. All right, put this one in. Overall, this is actually going together really well. I haven't really had any issues, and if I did, it was my own fault, because I didn't read ahead enough in the manual. And yeah, this, as a kit, I would say if you've never put a 3D printer together before, you would be fine with this. It's basically like Meccano at this point. Once we get up to the electronics later, not this stream, it would be like the second part, that's going to get quite difficult. But at this stage, yeah, like it's actually pretty easy. Just tedious, like some of these areas where you put nuts in is just a bit difficult to reach. Come on. Well, that should be tightening into it, but it's not. Tighten into the nut. Do it. Why don't you do it? Occasionally you need to use a little bit of gentle persuasion to get it into place. I should project the chat onto the wall. Actually, that'd be pretty cool. Okay. Have I missed any things? Where's my notifications? Nope, all good. Hello box. That's all good. Okay. So, I've got that assembled, and I am just going to put it in place, basically. So it says, note the correct orientation of the trapezoidal nuts. That is correct. And thank you, DJ Hanu, for subscribing. Okay, let's assemble this axis. So, looks to me like it basically just goes like that. Yeah? Yeah, why not? Okay. So I'm going to need the rods. So why isn't it showing the rods yet? So it's saying, assembling the Z-axis, X-axis, be careful to slide the X-axis on trapezoidal screws, rotate them both simultaneously. So okay, so I'll put the rods in after I just get it started. Then it'll be all good. Okay. Our last rods. Jump the shark. Is that not what I want to do? No, that's correct. Oh, I lost a ball. Why? That's perfectly aligned. It's all right. You can lose one or two. You just can't lose more than that. Okay, that's fine. Oh no, I've started a whole talk about bad bonds. Hey, Animation Creations, how long have you been going at this? Since 10 o'clock, so I'm just coming up to 3 hours, and that will probably be it. I'm going to stop at the point where we get to the wiring and the extruder, so I'll move this down a bit. Okay, and we've got these bits. I can taste it, almost finished. So we've got two M3x10s to attach these into the top, and these sit. Is that the right ones or these ones? There we go. They just sit like that over the top of our rods. Like that. There you go. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And again, this is why these are really handy. You can feed it right in without worrying. Don't do that. And miss completely. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Everyone in the chat's gonna be like, Angus, you're a twat. Get this one aligned first then. There you go. Teresa's like, I giggled out loud when I said I lost a ball. Well, I did. But I mean, you can lose one. You can't, one or two. You can't lose more than that though. Come on. Yeah, maybe something magnetic would be handy here. Okay, that's pretty good. Tighten that up. Again, this is tapped, so it's really nice. Excellent. And over here, stop running away. It's really difficult to find the hole. There you go. There you go. Alan's like, I'm here 3D printing, designing, and watching Angus lose it. Yeah, I think I've reached my limit for now. I haven't eaten anything. I'm pretty hungry. Yep. This probably explains why the audio wasn't so good. Just a second. That might be a bit better than what it was before. Again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will be slowly improving the quality of the audio, the quality of the camera. Every donation towards the stream goes towards that. I really, really do appreciate it. But for now, I think we're done. So there's the belt. Okay, fine. I'll do the belt, then we're done. 3DP Iceland saying the audio is fine. It's okay, but I'm a bit of an audiophile. I really like to have the best audio possible. Okay, so we're gonna run this belt. This is gonna be a bit more difficult than running the Y-axis belt, because that was, I could access that on both sides. This is less accessible. And also this is gonna be a bit harder to tension, because there's no tensioning. Okay, so pull that round and shove it back through. Although having said that, there is a special tensioning thing, which I should pay attention to. Okay, all right. Okay, it wants it to be tensioned at the top, not the bottom, fine. Bash is asking, will part 2 be a live stream as well? It will indeed, probably next week. So that will be a live stream where we come back and start putting the rest of this thing together. Three Guzner's saying stop. What have I missed? What have I missed? So it says, insert the flat X GT2 belt into the X carriage. Oh, okay. Fine. It's just doing it differently. I will stop being a spaz. I'll pay attention to what it wants. Okay, let me wind these down. It wasn't really working, so I was thinking I was doing it wrong anyway. But, so it says to stick this in, and then it loops onto itself. Okay. So, maybe you guys can see that, but there's like a little loop here that it goes around and then bites back into its own teeth, and that's what's going to hold it in place. There is no belt hanging out of the X carriage, very important. Okay, so I need to make it a little bit shorter here. So it doesn't hang out. Again, tweezers. This is fiddly, very fiddly. Extremely fiddly. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Definitely get some tweezers, guys, if you're putting this printer together. Okay, step 12 on the Z-axis tells you how to tension it, that's fine. Okay. Then we're going to bring it around the idler and then bring it back. Bring it around the idler and bring it back. Right. And then it runs all the way back to the motor, through here. Again, tweezers, very handy, or forceps, either one, either way. Okay. So that's fine, and then on this end there can be slight belt overhang, you don't need to trim it. Fine, I will take your word for it. Now it's saying do the motor side first, but it doesn't say that in the manual. We don't see the difference in making it home. So I want to release two M3 screws on the X end. Okay, so I'm going to undo these slightly. That is not right. I'm on step 12. I'm reading step 12. I've done what step 12 says. Before you continue to guide the belt through the X-axis, please release two M3 screws on the X end, which I've done. I'm going to rotate the X-axis motor down. Ah, all the way out. Got it. Okay, fair enough. It wants them all the way out. Not just a little bit. Yeah, I was thinking that the motor would be, you tilted it into place and then tensioned it. But yeah, okay, that's weird. That's a little bit hacky, I'll be completely honest with you. This doesn't move. Yeah, okay. All right, fine. Okay. Got it. You guys can chill out now. That's a really, really weird way to do belt tension, but fine. So we'll tension it down, or up, which is better, down. Okay, so we're going to run this round. I wish chat was, there was less latency, guys. That would be nice. So I'm really hungry. It's clouding my judgment. Okay, getting my pliers. And then force it back in like that. Okay. I made it too tight. Oh, that's actually... Is that too tight, guys? Turn it into a guitar. Why not stream on Twitch? Because, look guys, I prefer YouTube, and Twitch deletes archives after like 30 days or so. So, yeah, it's not really what I want to do. Yeah, I'm more comfortable here on YouTube. Okay, I'm just going to do it up. If it's too tight, it's too tight. It'll definitely soften up though. That is strange. But yeah, if the clone ones are doing it like that, then that's fine. I guess it's fine. It just doesn't make it easy to adjust in future. You'd have to undo the motor. Okay. Yeah, no, it's Kevlar lined, it'll stretch, that's fine. Make sure it's in the groove properly, it's fine. All right, it's gonna tighten up the timing pulley and we're good. Where's my Allen key? It's the wrong one. That's the right one. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure this isn't rubbing. Looks fine to me. Tighten it up. And we're done. Right, I don't need to test it because that is very tight. All right, guys, so as I said, I need to go eat something because my vision is blurring. And we'll do the extruder next time. That's a very long, tedious process, and it'll actually need a closer camera angle. So I will have a farewell gummy bear for good luck. Where have my gummy bears gone? Gummy bears. Hello.
I am really hungry.
Make food.
Okay.
Okay, gummy bear. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. Pretty easy to put together, actually. And the assembly instructions are really detailed. My only fault is I skipped things because I get ahead of myself, which is mostly because I got bias in terms of assembling machines before. But things are done a little bit differently on this machine than other machines I've done. So read RTFM. I'm sure Joseph will be happy that I did that mostly. So guys, I will be assembling the rest of this next week, same time. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic evening or day. And I look forward to seeing you again very shortly here on Maker's Muse. Catch you later, guys. Bye.